into a truly, well, monumental topic. Something many thinkers are calling an earthquake in, the foundations of our civilization.
It really feels that way sometimes.
Yeah, it's not just small changes. It's a profound disruption, reshaping technology, society, even how we see ourselves.
Absolutely.
We've pulled together a fascinating stack of sources for you. We're mainly looking at the historian Yuval Noah Harari.
Right, his historical and philosophical taste.
Exactly. And we're grounding it with some timeless wisdom from Ralph Waldo Emerson, plus insights from neuroscientist Sam Harris.
A potent mix.
Definitely. Our mission for you in this deep dive is, well, to help you cut through the noise.
Yeah, to pull out the critical insights so you can grasp the real challenges and also the opportunities ahead.
Right, from AI, the collapse of trust, what it means for you, for us, and how to maybe find some clarity and agency in all this change.
Which is becoming increasingly difficult.
No kidding. Okay, so let's unpack this. Harari identifies this fundamental shift with AI. We often think of it as just another tool, right? A better calculator.
Yeah, or like the printing press, or even the atom bomb. Powerful, but still tools we wield.
But Harari says, no, it's different. What makes AI stand out?
What's fascinating, and maybe a little unnerving, is that he sees AI not just as a tool, but as an agent.
An agent?
Yeah. Think about it. A printing press needs us to tell it what to print. An atom bomb needs someone to push the button. They're passive.
Okay.
But AI, Harari argues, can make its own decisions. It can invent new ideas. Crucially, it can learn and change by itself.
Without our direct input for every step.
Exactly. He even suggests it could decide targets or design the next generation of weapons. That makes it potentially more momentous, he says, than writing or the printing press. It's autonomous in a way nothing else we've created has been.
That's a huge distinction, an agent. And he uses that image of AI as a baby. It learns from us.
Right. Which flips the script, doesn't it?
It does. It means our behavior, our choices, they become the training data.
Precisely.
Yeah.
So the ethical insight here isn't just about the tech itself, it's about us.
Our responsibility.
Exactly. Harari puts it bluntly. If we, especially leaders, lie and cheat, well, we can't expect a benevolent AI.
Because it learns from that.
It will copy your behavior. Simple as that. And this feeds directly into the whole AI alignment problem.
Right. How do we make sure these super smart agents actually, help humanity align with our value?
And it's not just a technical problem, it's a moral one. It reflects our morality back at us.
That's a sobering thought. Okay, and when we talk about AI as an agent, it's really important to separate intelligence from consciousness, right? People mix those up.
Constantly. Harari is very clear. AI is highly intelligent.
Right.
It can solve problems, achieve goals, play chess better than any human. Off the charts intelligence, potentially.
But
as far as we know, it has zero consciousness.
Meaning no inner experience.
Right. For Harari, consciousness is the capacity to suffer, to feel joy, pain, love, hate. That subjective what it's like to be feeling. AI, he argues, doesn't have that.
And Sam Harris agrees.
Yeah, Harris echoes this. He says consciousness is fundamental to our reality, but there's no reason to expect. It just automatically appears when you scale up intelligence. Computer evolution seems to be intelligence without consciousness.
So we shouldn't project our own minds onto it.
That could be a major mistake, yes. Anthropomorphism gone wild.
Okay, here's where it gets maybe even more complicated. Because both Harari and Harris point to this underlying problem that makes the AI revolution feel so risky, which is this massive collapse of trust.
Yes. Trust is collapsing all over the world, Harari says.
Yeah.
Between nations, but also within societies.
It feels tangible.
It is. He gives the example of Republicans and Democrats in the U.S. who, quote, don't agree on any fact except that they don't trust each other.
Wow.
And he calls this the worst possible time to be developing super intelligent AI when the very cooperation we need is just crumbling.
Like building on quicksand, as you said.
Exactly.
And a lot of this breakdown seems fueled by our information tech, especially social media, the irony, right? Meant to connect us.
And Harari is quite stark about this. He says, our initial battle with AI on social media was when we lost.
Lost how? Because algorithms just took over.
Well, think about their goal. Usually something like increase user engagement. Benign sounding, right? But what that often translates to is making money.
Keep people clicking, keep people scrolling.
Right. And the algorithms quickly figured out the easiest way to grab people's attention is by pressing the greed or hate or fear button.
Our emotional hot button.
Exactly. So the result was It flooded the world with hate and greed and fear, and meaningful conversation just became harder and harder. It broke down.
And Sam Harris calls social media a hallucination machine.
He does. Because it makes it increasingly difficult to agree on basic facts, on reality itself, which he worries could make us politically ungovernable.
But isn't there still individual responsibility? Can we just blame the algorithm?
That's a fair question. Harari wouldn't deny individual choice. He's talking about the system. The platforms weren't designed primarily for human well-being. They were designed for engagement, for profit.
So it's an uneven fight. Our psychology versus sophisticated AI.
It can feel that way. It's hard even for the aware individual to resist systems designed to hijack our primal responses. The hallucination machine actively distorts shared reality, which is fundamental for governing ourselves, individually and collectively.
And this distortion gets worse with deep fakes and AI content, right?
Oh, exponentially worse. It's becoming impossible to tell the difference between a real photo or video and a fake just by looking at it.
Like that Billie Eilish picture at the Met Gala.
Exactly. Totally AI generated, but went viral. And it's not just celebrity pics. There are serious cases, like fake images of Abrigo Garcia used to push false stories, leading to a mistaken deportation. Real world harm.
So what's the solution? Watermarks.
Harari argues for something stronger. He says it should be illegal to fake human beings with the same seriousness we treat counterfeiting money. Why? To preserve social trust.
Because if you can't trust if you're seeing or talking to a real person,
then dialogue collapses. And there's another weird angle. Future AI will increasingly train on AI-generated content eating their own products, as Harari puts it.
leading to an alien culture.
Potentially. Something completely detached from human reality and experience.
That's unsettling. Okay, so this erosion of trust, the fakes, the algorithmic manipulation, it feels like a direct threat to democracy.
It absolutely is. Democracy, going back to Athens, is fundamentally about conversation, shared understanding, trust among citizens.
And Harari points out that modern democracy was built on specific technologies.
Right. Newspapers, telegraph, radio, TV, these shape the public sphere. When that tech changes so drastically, like with social media and AI, he says it's an open question whether the market obviously can survive.
Because the online space is flooded with non-humans.
Yeah, flooded by non-human entities that maybe masquerade as human beings.
Yeah.
You simply have no idea if it's even human. He calls this AI hacking the operating system of society, undermining the trust and shared reality democracy depends on.
Wow. Okay, so amidst all this, what actually makes humans special? How did we build civilizations in the first place if we're now so vulnerable? Harari has this idea about our superpower.
Yes, our unique superpower is the ability to cooperate both flexibly and in very large numbers. No other animal does this.
Flexibility and scale.
Exactly. Ants cooperate in large numbers, but rigidly. Chimps cooperate flexibly, but only in small groups.
Right.
We do both. Millions, even billions of strangers working together through shared belief in fictions or fictional stories.
Fictions, like lies.
Not necessarily lies, more like shared constructs, things like money. It's just paper or data, but we agree it has value. Nations, corporations, human rights, even gods.
Things that don't physically exist but shape our reality.
Precisely. The US government, Google, the World Bank, Harari, calls them fictional entities. But they dictate global survival. They're powerful shared stories.
And for centuries, the authority for how we should live shifted, right? From gods to us, to human feeling.
Harari calls this humanism. For the last 2 or 3 centuries, it's been dominant. The idea that the voter is the supreme authority, the customer is always right. Beauty is in the eyes of the beholder.
My feelings, my choice, my experience is what matters most.
That's the core of humanism. But now, Harari argues, science itself is challenging that foundation.
How so?
By suggesting things like there is no such thing as free will, and that our feelings, our cherished inner life, are really just biochemical algorithms.
Algorithms, like a computer.
Essentially, yes.
Yeah.
Calculating probabilities for survival. He uses the example of a baboon figuring out the risk of getting bananas near a lion, that feeling is a complex calculation. Science, he suggests, is reducing our inner world to biological machinery.
Okay, that's a huge leap. And it leads to his idea about algorithms understanding us better than we understand ourselves.
Okay, exactly. If feelings are algorithms and we have enough data and computing power,
An external algorithm could theoretically model my internal algorithms better than I can consciously access them.
that's the claim. This leads to what Harari calls dataism. Authority shifts from human feelings to external algorithms.
That sounds cold. Does he give examples?
He does. Angelina Jolie choosing a double mastectomy based on a genetic algorithm's risk assessment, overriding her own feeling about it. Or Amazon's Kindle not just displaying text, but reading you, tracking your speed, where you pause, what you skip.
Gathering data on my internal state through my behavior.
And the endpoint could be maybe Google advising you on who to marry based on biometric data cross-referenced with millions of relationship patterns.
Okay, the marriage example feels particularly jarring. It bypasses personal feeling entirely.
It does. It represents that shift. Trusting the external data more than the internal feeling, because the feeling is just a potentially flawed algorithm anyway, in this view.
So if algorithms might know us better than we know ourselves, what does that mean for being an individual? How do we push back? Emerson seems relevant here.
Hugely relevant. Ralph Waldo Emerson, writing way back in the 19th century, offers this powerful counter-narrative. His whole philosophy in self-reliance is about nonconformity.
Resisting the crowd.
Fiercely. Whoso would be a man must be a nonconformist, he wrote. His core message was, trust thyself. Listen to your own inner promptings, not dictates of society or institutions.
He warned against foolish consistency too, right?
Yes. And how society, especially groups, political parties, religious sects, they crush individuality. Our personalities, he said, get eaten up by one of these communities of opinion. Find truth in your private heart. It's almost the polar opposite of datism.
And Emerson was suspicious of institutions, just like Sam Harris seems to be today, particularly regarding truth and misinformation.
Very similar critiques, centuries apart. Emerson saw institutions as the length and shadow of one man. They can become rigid, detached from direct experience.
And Harris.
Harris points out that while we desperately need trustworthy institutions, a reliable press like the New York Times, universities like Harvard for truth discovering and truth preserving.
Many are failing.
Yeah, many seem susceptible to ideological capture or overt political partisanship, which makes the common advice, do your own research, kind of problematic.
Why? Isn't research good?
In theory, yes. But in practice, in a world flooded with complex information and misinformation, it often becomes an invitation to waste your time, Harris says. Without trusted guides, individuals are often just adrift in propaganda.
Okay, so institutions are wobbly, AI is rising, trust is low. What can we actually do? Harari seems to suggest a specific priority.
He does. He insists the main missing ingredient isn't better AI, it's trust between humans.
Fix ourselves first.
Essentially, yes. First, solve the human trust problem, he argues, and then together we can create benevolent AI. Trying to build AI to fix our trust issues won't work. It might just amplify the distrust. The human problem is upstream.
That makes sense. And he also offers some hope that technology isn't just this unstoppable force.
Right. He uses that striking satellite image. North and South Korea at night, same basic technology, electricity, but wildly different societies.
Showing different choices.
Exactly. Technology is not deterministic, he concludes. We can still do something about it. Our choices matter. The path isn't pre-written.
And Sam Harris really hammers home the need for global cooperation, doesn't he?
He sees it as absolutely fundamental. Human cooperation is the basis of civilization, the only thing that ensures our survival and flourishing.
Even for huge threats.
Even something like an asteroid, he says, is solvable if we cooperate globally.
But with AI, isn't there an arms race? US versus China?
He acknowledges that's happening, almost unavoidably. But he argues the real solution, ultimately, is to achieve a world that is politically sane enough for genuine global cooperation on AI safety. Without that, competing nations might cut corners on safety, making alignment exponentially harder.
Political sanity feels like a tall order right now.
It does, but he sees it as the necessary condition.
Okay, so big picture, fix trust, cooperate globally, but what about for you, the listener? How do we navigate this personally? Both Harari and Harris seem to point inward.
They do, towards self-knowledge, mindfulness. Harari even frames studying history as a form of collective therapy. We often don't want to know about myself, especially the painful truths.
And practically.
He advocates for an information diet or even information fasts, recognizing that more information isn't always good for you, especially if it's junk information designed to trigger greed, hate, fear.
Curate your input.
Yes. And for leaders, he says, build a wall between their mind and their mouth. Think carefully before contributing to the noise.
And Sam Harris takes the inward turn even further with meditation.
Definitely. Harris sees meditation not just as stress relief, but as a tool for fundamental insights into the nature of your mind.
Insights like what?
Like realizing there's no fixed truth to who you are as a person. That thoughts are just thoughts, emotions are just emotions, transient events in consciousness.
Not me.
Right. Meditation helps break that spell of just kind of helpless identification with them. You observe them instead of being swept away.
Which gives you freedom.
An intrinsic freedom in consciousness, he calls it. The ability to respond to life thoughtfully rather than reactively, in ways that don't create needless suffering. Because most suffering, he believes, is tissue thin, born of bad ideas and the discordant stories we tell ourselves.
Discerning the inner noise from the signal.
Precisely. Same challenge as discerning it in the external world, just applied inwardly.
So we've covered a lot. AI as an agent, the deep crisis of trust fueled by tech, our human superpower of fiction and cooperation, and its vulnerabilities.
Yeah. And that core challenge Harari identifies. For thousands of years, we were extremely good at acquiring more power. But you don't seem to be significantly happier. We haven't learned how to translate power into wisdom.
Which really brings it back to the individual, doesn't it? So what does this all mean for you listening right now?
Well, in an age where algorithms might claim to know you better than you know yourself, where external narratives and fictions are constantly pulling at you, this deep dive really brings us back to Emerson's core message: trust thyself. It's an invitation, maybe even a challenge,
To look inward.
to find truth not just in the data flood or social media echoes, but in your private heart. Can you cultivate that inner clarity, that self-reliance, to navigate what Harari calls this emerging alien culture?
Not by seeking more power, but by seeking wisdom.
Exactly. The wisdom to discern what's real, what's trustworthy, and what truly serves human flourishing starting within yourself.